sure I have all the parts in here before we get started. What's going on, guys? This is Burrs. I want to talk to you today about my AK-74 rebuild. Now recently you've seen me use my AK-74 in the is AK-74 accurate or not video. And if you're paying attention during that video, which a lot of you were because you messaged me, you can see that there's different paint jobs on different parts, there's new parts, old parts. It looked like an abortion. So at this point what I wanted to do was give my AK-74 a refresh, put some new parts in, and show you what I'm going to do. Now, just to cover the different paint jobs I've had on this gun, you can see here this is kind of like a sand color. This used to be, if you look at the one picture from my last range trip, this and a little bit up front here on the barrel was still a desert paint job. So as you know, I have gone down to Arizona and helped the Haas USMC and Border Patrol. So I still had that paint job on here, which was a kick-ass paint job. I used Airvo spray paint. And that's just a pain in the ass to get off, you know, with acetone and scrapers and stuff. It's still a pain in the ass. So if you're looking for a killer paint job, at least with longevity, Airvo and their offerings, which they have a ton of different paint colors, I would definitely check them out because that paint is really legit. I also had a paint job on here that me and Nate Murr did. We have a video on that actually. If you want to see that paint job, which is this one here, you can look at the how to paint your gun video, which has like 200,000 views at the moment, something like that. You can take a look at this video right here if you want to see that paint job. But that was just basically going over it, putting some different textures and stuff on it, and you can see there's different colors, and it's a really great camo paint job. But like I said, I just wanted to refresh this whole thing. So what I did was I took everything apart out of the frame here, the receiver, and I wanted to put a new ALG Defense AK Trigger in. So I thought, you know what? It's the best time right now to kind of tear it all apart, give it a refresh, and go from there. So what I did here was, like I said, I tore this all apart, taped it off, and I went ahead and threw some cast coat iron Dupli Color on it. Now my favorite color in the world is Disruptive Gray. There's a Disruptive Gray Cerakote which is specific to Haley Strategic, and it's this color right here. As you saw in the Cerakote video for Mad Custom Coating, I had them Cerakote this with that Disruptive Gray. Now granted, if you're going to do that, you're going to spend easily over $100 if you just do the slide. And if you do the whole gun, you're going to spend tons of money. So what I found was, I found a cheap alternative, which is this Dupli Color. And you can see that this is a almost exact match. It's very, very close. And like I said, what I used was this Dupli Color engine enamel. So it withstands up to 500 degrees, resists oil and fluids. It's great for engine blocks. But I use this right here, cast coat iron. And this stuff is really, really good if you're looking to get that disruptive gray look, but you don't want to spend $1 zillion on Cerakote, which granted, everything rubs off. So, you know, doing this, and then say you have a scratch or some scratches and stuff, you just take a little bit of this, spray it down, and you're good to go again. So that's what I'm doing for this one, just a cheap refresh of the 74. So what I did when I prepared this was I took 150 sandpaper, just went over pretty much everything. There's still paint on here, of course, but I sanded it down, all the rough spots. I actually went around and sanded all the sharp edges off a lot of this that come with AKs, and sprayed it down, and that's where we are with this. What I did then was, like, I'm going to use an aim point on here, which I always have. This also was colored, so I just kind of took some flat high heat Rust-Oleum and threw their high heat black on here. If you know anything about AKs, when you put this on the gas block, not the gas block, but the gas tube area, this thing gets super, super, super hot. So I went ahead and threw that on there just to kind of get a good look. What I'm looking to do, if you guys know Rifle Dynamics, if you're watching this AK video, you probably do. Rifle Dynamics makes a 501 rifle, their AK-74 501. And I just kind of got the idea for the color pattern, which is, you know, a different color receiver and then black accent parts with the stock and the forearm here, the foregrip. So I'm just going to go off of that. This is actually phase one. So what I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to put this together the way it is, but at some point I'm going to cut this and bring it back, put some sort of a muzzle device. Right now I have a Lantac Dragon muzzle device, which I might use on this. And I'm also going to put the Venom tactical gas tube on here, which take all this weight off the front of the gun. So that's down the road. Right now I'm just refreshing it and putting some new parts in. Now granted, I will be using this aim point like I said, and I'm going to be using the Krebs 300 meter sight, rear sight, for the iron sights. You might say, oh, this can go out to 1,000 yards, and the original one can. You use an aim point, use a red dot, that's going to be a backup sight. So having a backup sight that's good for 300 meters, 300 yards, nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to throw that quick acquisition sight on, which is going to open up the rear sight a little bit. And like it says, quick acquisition. Don't have that yet, it's coming in the mail, which a few parts are, which we're going to talk about. I'm going to use the Magpul front forearm, which I do like a lot. It gives you a little bit more area to purchase. It gets out a little bit more, and it really resists the heat a lot better than the stock one, even though I like the stock one. So I'm trying to keep this as light as possible. And this Magpul forearm, you can see this is their MOE AKM. Really like this forearm. Also going to use Magpul's triangle stock. This is something that's lightweight, it's polymer, it's a good durable polymer, has a little bit of storage up here. I've used this a little bit. I use this and the other one, which it just comes down and up. It doesn't have this triangle to it. Not a big fan of that one, but I do like this triangle version right here. Lightweight, super durable, and we're going to use that on here as well. And we get into the parts, the specifics of the internals. This is an ALG Defense Trigger, AK Trigger. And as you can see, I kind of did this like a little, I don't know, dark red, burgundy, whatever, to the trigger, just to kind of give it a little, you know, something different. But I'm going to use this AK trigger from ALG Defense. Just came in the other day. So I'm going to use that for the trigger. And then for the mainspring, I'm going to take this one off, which is the stock one. I'm going to put on ALG Defense's high energy spring, which is 25% more torque. So if you have any primers that are a pain in the ass to smack with your hammer, the spring's going to make this go ahead and make sure that those fire off. When you're using surplus ammo, it's a good thing to have a little bit stronger of a spring, so you have stubborn primers. So I'm going to use that. That's in the mail as well. Went down through, cleaned up the pins for the trigger, cleaned those up. And if you're looking over here and you see this orange thing, if you ever get a paint and you want to know what the hell it looks like, go ahead and paint something no one's going to see. This is the pin retainer that's on the inside of the AK. It sits over here, sits down and over here. No one's ever going to see this, but I had a burnt bronze or burnt copper from VHT that I wanted to see what the color was. So I went and painted this and just to see what it looks like. So, you know, whatever. If you just want to see what it looks like, use something you're not going to see on the gun. As always, and I have said, I recommend the Ultimac. This is the M1B. This one I've used tons and tons of rounds. This entire gun probably has 4,000 to 5,000 rounds through it, including this Ultimac, which I put on very early on. Had it on different paint jobs, but I'm going to go out and spray paint this as well with that engine stuff here at some point. Finally got this Airvo paint off of here, like I was telling you about. So I'm going to go ahead and paint that. That'll be a part of this. I went ahead and painted the back of this. You know, you want everything to look good. I'm also going to get the ALG Defense. It's in the mail. ALG Defense, this is the recoil spring. Once that comes, I'll go ahead and pop that off. I pop this one off and pop that one on. It has an interesting design where the middle springs on it are together. And they're not coiled up, and it's supposed to help even out the spring recoil or whatever. So we'll see what that does. But that's a chrome silicone spring, as is their hammer spring is chrome silicone. So longer lasting, it's going to last a lot longer. It's going to be more even feel. So we'll see once we get that in the mail. You guys know that I run the AK Lightning Bolt, which means you have a front and right hand side charge. Still got to take some of the paint off of here. I'm going to paint this down just with a basic, probably the high heat flat black. I'll go ahead and do the top part here. You want to mask off all this stuff obviously on the bottom where you're going to have the action moving and everything. I'm going to tape that off, go ahead and paint this down just to kind of give it a fresh painted coat. We got the bolt, obviously, I'm not painting that. And then we're going to come to the grip. Now I have an AK grip from Magpul on my other AK-74. And I gotta tell you, I forgot I didn't like them. So I bought this one for the project. I got it in and I felt it in my hand, and it reminded me initially why I don't like the AK Magpul grips. They're just a little thin for my hands. So what I found was a Stark Equipment AK grip, which is a little bit more swelled out. It's a little bit more to it. And I got one of those coming in the mail, and that's what I'm going to use for this one. And the cool thing about the Stark is it has a better back strap, in my opinion. It comes up a little bit more, so you get that nice feel, and it has a little bit larger of a ledge here to rest your thumb. And like I said, it's swelled out a little bit. This is, I think, Magpul's version, trying to put a AR grip on an AK. They swelled it out slightly compared to the AR grip, But for AKs and to handle them properly, I think it needs to be swelled out more. So I don't know if they can make a new version, but I am getting that Stark equipment, which is a USA made grip for the AK. So once that comes in, that's going to go on this as well. So this is part one. This is me telling you what we're going to do. Once I get the remaining parts in, I'll go ahead and slap them in here, make another video and show you what's going on, and I'll also get a range report for you. I really do like that AK Trigger from ALG Defense, and I'm curious once we get all this together how it's going to run. I don't have any concerns really, because if you buy quality parts, for the most part, you're not going to have a problem. So if you guys have any questions or anything, go and let me know. If you guys have your own rebuilds you're doing or refreshes of your stuff, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, or better yet, make a video about it. And until next time, later.
Smack. Smack. You got it. You're good. Don't thumb it. Smack. Alright. Fine motor skill, gross motor skill. Which many people will argue, and those people can go fuck themselves.